On cellular technology, 2, 3G, 4G, there's global standards, and they're already developed in many passenger and commercial vehicles. How important will 5G be to the connected and autonomous vehicles of the future?
It's a really good question, because there is a lot of discussion within the sector, within the industry at the moment, about exactly, what are the connectivity and the communication requirements for connected and self-driving vehicles. A number of studies that have been carried out recently show that actually, for some of the early use cases, the connectivity that we have in terms of 3G and 4G can often be enough to already unlock a number of really great use cases for connected vehicle data, particularly around how we might manage the road network. Clearly, there are particular areas where there are challenges around coverage and capacity of the networks. And I think as we look further forward, I think this is where 5G has the opportunity to really unlock greater safety and greater services in the future. As the self-driving technologies themselves mature, and we have a greater understanding about how we can connect them into the wider network, I think it's the capacity issue and the need for lower latency, high capacity networks as suddenly, we start to connect more and more vehicles, to the broader transport system, whatever that will look like, and a whole raft of data which is available. I think we'll see some emergent services and some emergent ideas that come out of this network, for which 5G is critical. When we think about, processing additional safety information, at the moment that will all be done on the vehicle, and I think it makes sense that a vehicle must make its own safety decisions within the bounds of that vehicle, and that will remain true, I think, for a long time coming. But if we start to think, how can you supplement the safety of that vehicle? How can you start providing additional external information into the vehicle to help it make preemptive safety decisions? At that point, you need to have a very low latency, very time critical network. The use of mobile edge compute, which can come alongside the rollout and deployment of 5G, I think starts to unlock that. So not only can we, deliver safety improvements already with connected and self-driving vehicles today, and their ability to be much more reliable than you or I as a human driver, certainly pay much more attention, much more consistently. But actually, we can start to bring all this additional information in, have vehicles starting to talk to each other, sharing information. That, for me, is the big opportunity for 5G. And what we need to make sure is that as we're talking about how we deploy that and what it looks like here in the UK, we need to consider transport, I think, as one of the key use cases. It's not all about me being able to watch Ultra HD Netflix films on my phone, although there'll be a big part of that, I'm sure. But actually, there are other use cases which are much more critical, which means we need to understand what that means for coverage, particularly on the road networks. If you think about rural roads and urban roads and interurban, there's lots of questions there. The opportunity is great for 5G to unlock, as I've said, additional safety, additional services, but we need to consider that from the outset. And I think a lot of the people we're talking to are already thinking about that today, which is great.
I mean, most people have a smartphone, obviously using cellular technology. How will they choose and pay for multimodal travel in the near future?
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen already that how people move around and the choices that we have for travel have changed over the last number of years. I certainly, wherever I'm going anywhere, I've got my phone, I'm checking Google Maps or Waze or whatever to check my routes. If I'm not driving, maybe I'm ordering an Uber, I'm checking the bus times on my phone. And so we're already seeing actually that more and more people are using that as their, if you like, their entry point into the transport system. If I'm honest, today, if I counted on my phone how many different apps I've got, to help me do different journeys, there's quite a lot. And I think this is where mobility as a service, as this kind of concept, comes into play, which is really saying we have many opportunities, many different options for our travel. I could take the bus, the train, I could get a taxi, I can walk or cycle. The active travel being a very important part these days as well. But how do I understand what the best route is from A to B? I don't really often care exactly what my route is or how I get there, provided I can get there in the time that I need to arrive on time and be confident that I will arrive on time. Clearly, things around the weather might change whether I want to cycle or walk, and how much it costs are all there. But mobility as a service is something which wraps up all of these transport options together in a way which allows us to go from A to B. Relatively transparently allows us to access that service through one platform, one payment service. That, I think, is how we're going to transition in the future. Ability to bring, whether it's an automated journey or whether it is, mass transit on a train, all of those can come into it. But as a traveller, what I want to do is be able to, with my phone probably, I'm here, I want to go there. Someone else work out the boring details of exactly what that is and how I do it, and have seamless transitions between them. So there's a big infrastructure in the background that says, how can I be sure that I can get off my bus and walk straight onto a train? I don't want to be waiting 45 minutes in the train station. So there's a lot of logistics that goes behind it. But actually, all that data from those different transport modes coming together and being synthesized, and there's a lot of great work with some organisations in the UK using artificial intelligence to do all of that kind of data aggregation and understand what the most seamless journeys are. All of that needs to be transparent to the user, and all I really want to do is be told by someone I trust, that's the journey I need to take, and off I go. You take away a lot of the friction and the confusion, about how do I get to where I'm going. It's all provided very much as a service, and smartphones and the connectivity are a key part of that to ensure that is accurate, but also actually as I go through my journey, I'm confident that my journey is still on track.